back to another episode of Let's Get Spooky. I'm Leanna Vamp.
And I'm Ashley.
And on today's episode, we are talking about conspiracy theories. Basically going down the rabbit hole of the internet and finding weird shit to talk about.
Every weird thing that we don't want to talk about because we don't know who's listening. But
we don't want to offend anyone.
We all know about everything.
So. But we're going to say it anyway. So you, when we first talked about this, the one thing that I remember in our conversation is you just like outright were like Chuck E. Cheese conspiracy.
Yes!
And I was like,
my
what?
God. Okay, because I will binge certain platforms. So I'll binge Netflix. I'll go on Hulu, depending on like what is happening and what's on. And so I haven't really touched YouTube in a while, going down rabbit holes of channels. And so I just started like watching some random YouTube channel, and it was like Shane Dawson or something. And he has a conspiracy channel. And I, as a small lass who lived in the middle of nowhere, like one of the redeeming qualities of life was like going to Chuck E. Cheese. Like that was like Disneyland.
That's like the last thing I would think would be
like,
the highlight.
When you're in the middle of nowhere, you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do with my life aside from like play in a field? You go to Chuck E. Cheese. That's like your prize for living. So Chuck E. Cheese was where you would have your birthday party if you were a great kid. Mm-hmm. Not so much for me. Sometimes I'd have it.
I had a birthday party. I think I had a couple of Chuck E. Cheese
birthday parties. But it was like,
parties.
there was this whole memory of like, catching a cold in the ball pit and like not winning anything great. But Chuck E. Cheese was a big prominent feature in a lot of our, adolescent memories.
Right. And you spent a ton of money and you got like bouncy balls and
so you think it's all good and you're like, oh, I'm a kid. But like sometimes kids have blinders on. And so, and I didn't realize this until I was really thinking about my memories, and there was this whole conspiracy that, and don't hate me, Chuck E. Cheese, I'm not gonna get sued, but when you look at pizzas you got at Chuck E. Cheese, like none of the pieces match. Like it looks like a puzzle, and they try to put it together, and the conspiracy is that you never actually get a full pizza. You're just getting bits from other people's pieces that you don't finish. And so this Shane, he actually went into...
Did he do an experiment?
He did, because he was skeptical. He's like, I don't fucking care. Like, we're going to disprove it. So it's
like $8.99 for a pizza.
They go into Chuck E. Cheese and they get said pizza where it's all discombobulated. But then they're sitting behind a table that recently cleared, and you see an employee looking at the pizza and tapping the table but not picking up the pizza, clearing everything around it as if like that half is still good for the next family.
No.
Yeah. Yes. It's a real thing. And
you showed me a picture before and I was like, no.
But then I thought about the pizzas that I got, and maybe I'm just like, I was really like fat, so I just like ate everything. But I do remember them being a little bit like bizarre.
See, I don't like my mind when I'm as a kid, I wasn't that observant. I like ran into walls. I was not like paying attention to anything. So I would have never noticed that, even if it was like different toppings. So when you said it initially, I was like, oh, so maybe you got like half pepperoni, half cheese, and they just like cut it in half.
This is like every piece, like the crust so mashed, the pepperonis are like half there and then half not.
It's like a bad puzzle when you see it. It doesn't match.
Me being like, oh my God, that was the one redeeming part of my childhood, and now it's like crushed. And I was like, as an 8-year-old or a 7-year-old, I didn't know about the Illuminati. So like, this is a big thing for me where I'm like, the revelation of my childhood.
Well, like that, the weird animatronics, like there's something more going on at Chuck E. Cheese.
And I was actually deathly afraid of the pizza maker too, because I was afraid of mustaches, but I grew out of it. Thankfully.
It's the whole caterpillar thing. It comes back.
Yeah, there's a conspiracy theory about Chuck E. Cheese, and I didn't read fully about they did issue a statement.
Chuck E. Cheese issued
because
a statement?
his series went viral and it got a lot of views, and so they had to talk about it and be like, we don't do this.
We don't recycle pizza that people have touched.
Everyone that I guess he talked to that worked there didn't really confirm or deny, so it's just like this whole thing.
I mean, first of all, you probably like Chuck E. Cheese pizza is not an ideal, like healthy.
It's cardboard.
Right. It's not a great nutritional, it doesn't have nutritional value. No. So that shouldn't be something that you're striving for. But we were saying earlier, we want to have a field trip and go to Chuck E. Cheese.
I really want to go and just see.
And order one.
I haven't gone to Chuck E. Cheese in like 15 years maybe.
Yeah, probably longer for me.
And I feel like you almost have to rent a child to go in and adequately be like, I'm supposed to be here, because otherwise you look like a creep.
Both of us in all black walking in.
It's like The Shining. come play with us.
But I really want to do that because I'm very interested. Yeah. See, I can't eat the pizza because I can't have cheese, but it would be worth the $10 or whatever to find out.
Well, we just leave it for the next family. Clearly they recycle. Someone else gets it. We're doing a solid for the people.
Recycle, reuse.
Yeah.
So one thing that I forgot, and we talked about this before, and I was like, we have to talk about this, and then we just bypassed it, was something that happened since last time we filmed.
Yeah,
the earthquake.
My first earthquake. I was shook, literally.
We were rolling.
So you shared your first earthquake experience. Mm-hmm. Mine was because it was two. It was one after. There was one on the 4th of July.
Right. And then there was a couple days.
No, it was the
Saturday,
day after.
Right? Was
it
the day
after?
Day?
No, literally next day. I was shook.
Tell me all about your experience.
So, first of all, I don't know what it's like to have an earthquake, but
in Seattle, there's no fault lines around that you would feel.
I was only there 4 years, so I didn't really I don't know. It could have been gas. Maybe there was one. I don't know.
Yeah.
Probably my stomach. But I was in my kitchen because it was early in the morning on 4th of July. No one was really partying.
It was breakfast time still. Yeah.
It was second breakfast time. And I was cooking my first breakfast. And I was in my kitchen. And I just feel kind of this weird. And I thought maybe I didn't drink the night before, but I was maybe I'm just dehydrated. Maybe my body's convulsing.
I haven't had enough water, so the ground is moving.
But then, plot twist, I hear my bed shaking. And my bed, it squeaks like a mofo. And all I can think of, per our conversations for this whole podcast, is there is a literal ghost fucking in my bed. It's just shaking. And I'm there's no other noise, unless it's So I was it has to be an earthquake. And it was. And I Googled it, and I was that wasn't my first earthquake. Now
what was the first one? The first one was a 6.5. 6.5,
yeah.
And 7.1 was the big one.
So the 7.1, I was in a bar, and I was a little bit tipsy. And downtown, it's you think these giant concrete buildings, sturdy, the whole bar was shaking. And I freaked out. I was kind of this is the end of the world.
Well, it's scary if you don't. For us living in California, it's still even scary if you're used to them.
Yeah.
You don't ever get used to an earthquake. The fact that the earth can just open up beneath you is terrifying.
Yeah.
So it still catches you off guard, and I can only imagine in a bar.
And I'm really afraid of sinkholes, which I don't talk about that much, but I was just if there's cracks in the ground, I know we're dry up in California, so there's no sinkholes maybe, I don't know. But I was just thinking, I just want to get home and buy a flashlight and a diaper and die.
So we were, we have a natural disasters episode coming, which will be, you would have heard it before this episode. But we're circling back because conveniently the earthquake didn't happen before the natural disasters episode, which would have been perfect timing. But so for me, I was sitting in the kitchen having breakfast, at the little breakfast nook area, and I was in a wooden chair. And it's
in California?
In California. Mm-hmm. And it's a bar stool. So it has this one leg that's a little bit shorter. So normally when you sit in the chair, it kind of, if you move around, it rocks back and forth. Totally normal. So I'm sitting in the chair, Cameron's outside, and I feel it rocking. And then I'm thinking, it's weird how when it happens, everyone had this moment of trying to justify it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a little tipsy. Maybe I have
gassy.
vertigo. I was maybe my vertigo is kicking in.
Yeah.
And it's moving a little bit back and forth. And that's why this feels weird. And then it kept going for a little bit. And I was holding onto the counter thinking I'm not moving, so the chair can't be moving. And then I looked up and we have a hanging fruit basket and then lights that hang and they're swaying back and forth. And I was oh, it's an earthquake.
But you're used to it. I'm not.
I mean,
and this one they said was rolling, whatever that means.
Well, so it was weird because then I went outside to where the pool is and you could see the water just sloshing back and forth. So it was a pretty decent sized earthquake. The next day, and it was in the evening the next day, right?
It was 7:30, 8 o'clock. He was a thick boy, and he rolled in quick.
It was long. It was a minute long. I'm standing in the kitchen, and I usually, for an earthquake, my first earthquake story where I'm whatever, it doesn't really frighten me. But for some reason, I got really afraid. I got a full... I remember Cameron even looking at me saying it's going to be okay. And I was panicked. I was sitting in the kitchen to the hallway and there's a little doorway and I was standing really still. I closed my eyes and I said a prayer and I was please don't let the earth open up beneath us. I was freaked the hell out. It was so weird.
I was too, because it was everything was like suddenly going good, and I was just like, oh my God, and like the earth is gonna eat me as soon as things are good. But like it was also all of the people who don't live in California who know that it's happening, and because it's escalated on the news and like put it in this platform of like, oh my God, the world's ending, they were all texting me being like, oh my God,
everyone's panicking.
And then I was like, well, fuck, I need a flashlight now because
you said, this is what you said, I need an earthquake kit.
Yeah.
And then what did you get, a flashlight?
A Frozen, because Target was out of normal flashlights, and so they had a Frozen themed flashlight with.
I thought you meant like Frozen in the freezer.
No, like the movie section. Frozen, like let it go. And
so you have a Frozen flashlight in your earthquake kit?
It's blue. And
that's not you at
I
all.
had water, and then Cameron drank it all last night.
So I said, your earthquake kit. We went over last night, and she's like, this is my earthquake kit water.
It's ate all my snacks, my perishables, or my non-perishables, my Tostitos.
Her earthquake kit water was 1 bottle of water.
That lasts me a month, though.
And we drank it all. So you need to replenish your earthquake kit.
You drank all my rum? Like, that was supposed to be my my
rums. I'll replenish your earthquake kit rum.
That was my faulty Neosporin for when I ran out. I was like, put some rum on that shit.
So essentially, everyone, once this earthquake happened, everyone is like blasting social media, like, you need an earthquake kit. Everyone's like panicking. And I guess it's more people that aren't from California.
I don't know what to get.
Well, I mean, you need water. You need, like, if you have like non-perishable snacks, if you have animals, you need like their food, their carriers, like things you can grab quickly. Makes total sense for an earthquake kit. But growing up in California and this being a normal thing, I'm like, I know where everything is.
I texted people who are from here, and they're like, yeah, of course you have a kit. And I'm like, no, I don't.
I'm a bad Californian.
I don't even have, like, the only first aid kit I had was when we went to that event and we got it for free. And I was like, that's the only time I'll ever have.
I have that one too.
There's fucking emojis on the Band-Aids. Like, and the apocalypse is going to hit, and I'm going to have, like, sad face emojis on my knees.
And I feel like it was like a free first aid kit, so it's not going to be very good. It's going to be like the shitty leftovers.
No, I looked. It was pretty good.
Was it good?
But, yeah, not good enough for the apocalypse, but I feel like it's going to make do.
It's very small. Like, if you had a scrape on your knee earthquake kit, it's not like if you had a wound, like a life-threatening wound.
Let's not get wounded. There's a big one coming. That's what they said. That's what she said.
For a long time.
It's, like, I have my flashlight and I have my half-quarter eighth of a water bottle. Yeah.
I mean, I think we'll be fine.
Sponsor us, water companies. Maybe we'll survive and we'll have another episode.
We need at least like a couple gallon jugs or like one of the big Sparklets bottles. I'm not carrying it, but
I'll carry it. I work out.
I don't work out. You can carry the water.
It's a team effort, but
so. Are you excited for the next earthquake, or are you going to be more prepared? What are you going to do?
I put so much work into my apartment. If it cracks in half, I'll be pissed because I'll probably still have to pay the rent. They'll be like, "Oh, it's still."
You'll have a giant gaping hole.
They'll be like, "Actually, like that just means you should have had a roommate." So like that other half is like what you should have given to someone else.
A molten lava moat. You just have to jump over it to go to the bathroom.
They're gonna be like, "This is fate. This is Mercury Gatorade. What the fuck's going on?"
Mercury's in Gatorade.
Yeah,
just
Mercury's in Gatorade, and this is your problem. Like we're all like the fires were last year, but this is your year. Boom shakalaka.
I love hearing people's experiences that haven't had earthquake experiences because it's very interesting to hold on. Time out. SD card has limited space remaining on our board. Should we halt? Should we time out? We are timing out. BRB.
Okay. Needless to say, I don't want another earthquake, but the big one is coming, and I feel like I'm partially prepared, but I am...
You are not prepared. You have a flashlight and a quarter bottle of water.
I've got my blanket, I've got my pillow, and I'm good, and I don't want to think about it, because honestly, no one has the time.
Well, they've been saying the big one is coming for like 2 decades.
That's what she said.
So the 7.1 earthquake, this is for context for people that aren't from California. So it was a 7.1 earthquake, but the epicenter was 7.1 about 100 miles away from here, maybe a little bit more.
So would the epicenter stay the same? That's the thing.
No, if the epicenter was 7.1 here, shit would be flying off the shelves. Like we were feeling the effects of a 7.1 100 miles away. Line? We are, but you're not feeling the intensity that you would. If it was 7.1, like in Los Angeles, it would not be like a smooth rolling. It would be violent shaking. Like
could you imagine the looting?
People would go nuts.
Like on Melrose?
I mean, that would be like an opportune
Alexander
time.
McQueen. I'd like get a skirt if it fit me.
But so people are freaking out about 7.1, but they're not realizing it's actually not 7.1 here.
Yeah.
I don't know what the actual like.
It was up in the midst between.
It was still intense.
Nevada and here. But yeah. It was enough for me to be like, you know what? I might get a backpack.
You should get a backpack. You should probably put like 2 to 3 bottles of water in it. The Gator jerky. I gave you the Gator jerky.
I know.
back.
I'm ready. Got my jerky.
You have Gator jerky. Water.
I do have Perrier.
That's
water.
Frozen. That's water.
I have waffles that, when defrosted, they are very mushy.
Those will go bad. You can't do those.
Motherfucker.
You need like cans of soup, things that are like not gonna.
What the fuck am I gonna do with a can of soup?
You're gonna eat it, or beans, protein, crickets. That's it.
Astronaut food.
I'm gonna Amazon Prime you like an endless supply of crickets because it's protein. It's dehydrated, so it won't go bad. It's in a Ziploc.
You know what doesn't go bad? Not to deviate fully, but I got this bagel once from Starbucks. I love you, Starbucks.
That
like,
will go bad.
No.
It turns into a rock.
I was literally at a Starbucks in Las Vegas, and they failed, and they gave me the bagel in the plastic sleeve, and I looked at the expiration date, and it was 6 months beyond when I was going to eat it. And that is bread. That's bagel bread. Bread, not real bread.
I always get bagels at the airport, and I think I'm going to eat them, but then I get on the plane and I fall asleep.
And they're okay.
No, we get to the hotel or we get whatever, and I'm like, oh, in my bag I have this bagel, and it's a brick. Like, you could bludgeon someone to death with that bagel.
If it's not from Starbucks, it'll be a bludgeoned bagel.
It was from Starbucks. They toasted it, and then it turns into a brick.
You don't get it toasted, and it's a sponge. You can literally wipe your counters with it.
It's a multi-purpose tool. Also can be put in the earthquake kit. So we go to Starbucks and we say
it's a conspiracy. We don't think it's real bread.
Bagel conspiracy.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go back to conspiracy theories. We're also going to make it a point to go to Chuck E. Cheese to investigate the conspiracy because I feel like we owe that to the listeners.
We want to know because, like, I think that not all of them adhere to rules, and I think some of them probably have standards, and I think that it's our job and our duty as detectives of the underground world of evil to confirm or deny. We can Yelp review it, and
we can say that pizza was not the same.
That pizza was discombobulated.
Yeah,
we can confirm or deny.
I'm so interested on that because there's so many photos. Like, you typed it on the internet, and we're scrolling through the photos, and I feel like as an adult, if that pizza came to me and it didn't fit, I would be like,
yeah,
can I talk to the cook? This doesn't seem right.
But I feel like Chuck E. Cheese is catered to children, and they don't look if the pepperoni slices line up.
But what about the parents?
Like, the parents are drunk, so they sell beer now at Chuck E. Cheese.
They didn't used to sell alcohol. Did they always sell alcohol?
They didn't. I don't know. I don't remember.
I didn't drink. So when I was 7
I was
years
in the
old,
ball pit getting lost in
I
the
wasn't
sauce.
an alcoholic. We were getting germs in the ball pit.
Yeah, we were getting
and playing skee ball to win a bouncy ball that you could get for a quarter.
We were catching the swine flu. Like, we weren't fucking around with investigating pizzas and beer alcohol intake.
I feel like children out there, really be aware. Keep your eyes open.
Use the math that school gives you, because that's the only time it'll ever matter other than taxes. Plot twist, you don't need cursive.
You just need to know math.
You just need to know the ratio of a circle.
I mean... That last 10 seconds of talking was gold.
I feel like I'm a conspiracy.
That's a snippet we're going to reuse. So other conspiracy theories, we kind of went down the rabbit hole.
There's some big ones and then there's some little ones.
We'll talk about the like funny ones, I feel, first before we get into the serious ones, because the serious ones are going to be like...
I have some funny ones.
Okay, okay, you go.
Well, okay, I gotta pull up my notes because I do my research. So, other than Chuck E. Cheese, because pizza's bae, I was looking, and I was just kind of looking at like things in the past 4 years that people have associated with being
conspiracy
bizarre. And so one of them was like that the ice bucket challenge was a satanic ritual. And it was like when the ice bucket challenge began circulating on the web in 2014, a number of suspicious theories came with it. Several critics took to YouTube hoping to reveal the true motivations of the challenge, and with many of them claiming the ALS benefit was a ritual purification cleansing for what would be the largest human sacrifice in history, part of a hidden Illuminati code passed down by Satan himself. So this nice gesture of people throwing cold-ass ice on their bodies for a good cause is Satan-induced.
Satan did that. You were welcome.
Satan, and then There was one.
But Satan and ice seems, I guess that's like, if Satan were going to do something, he'd be like, it's not fire, it's ice.
But then there was like some weird ones too, where it was like saying that the Queen of England was a cannibal, and they found human remains in the freezer in her chambers or whatever fucking kitchen she has in her chambers. There was a human remains. She was chunking. It was not alligator jerky. It was human.
It was human jerky.
Human bod. But it was like stuff like that where it was just like Chuck E. Cheese, like the Ice Bucket Challenge bullshit. It was like Finland doesn't exist. Like
okay, so we're gonna come because I watched the flat earthing documentary on Netflix. It's not called Flat Earthers, whatever it's called. If you're
I think I started that and I was like, fuck you guys.
I mean,
don't tell
so
nobody.
That's a big one because they're in our world.
And some of it is convincing. But
no, it's not.
Well, no, like if you're
not convincing.
if you have a little bit of a smoke of something, sometimes it's convincing. But
if you're not in your right state of mind,
yeah.
But I feel like even in not in your right state of mind, you'd be like, no, the Earth is
round as fuck.
Yes,
every planet is round, brothers and sisters.
There's a documentary. If you're not familiar with it. It's flat. I don't know just type in flat Earth on Netflix.
Semi-recently.
Like
in the past 6 months.
6 months for sure.
Yeah.
So I watched it, and it's a group of various people following them, and people that are normal people that have regular jobs. They're also crazy. They believe that the Earth is flat. So I could understand maybe 100 years ago believing the Earth is flat. Now we have things like Google Maps. Now we have things like
Google
pictures.
Maps is round.
Yes, is round, but we also have pictures from space.
Yeah.
Showing our Earth.
And they were trying to say that it was Photoshop. They were like, oh, you can't actually get a real photo of it all. So they stitch it together. I was like, bullshit.
Or there's people that are from in space taking a photo of the Earth and it's round. Or, so we were just in Sedona. And when you're in the city and you look up at the stars, there's so much light pollution that you can't see. You can see some of the stars, but you can't see it all. When we were in Sedona, we were out by Cathedral Rock. There's a little, like, there's homes and stuff, but it's not a lot of light pollution. And so we went to the bottom of Cathedral Rock. We laid a blanket down. We laid down and we looked up at the stars. If you look up, you can see the curvature of the Earth. Yeah. It's like, it's not fake.
There's the, what the fuck is it called? Not the atmosphere. That would be,
the Earth?
The dome. Like, what the fuck is that dome called? There's the stratosphere? What the fuck?
We're not scientists.
We're not scientists,
the Earth is
try.
round. Is basically what this is. The Earth is round, and there's evidence that the Earth is round. So watching this documentary, there's people, and the crazy thing is a lot of these people are very smart people. So they're smart people, and
a lot of smart people start cults, though.
That is very true.
Let's not get twisted.
The thing is, though, it's science. It's not someone saying, this is a theory, this is what I think, this is what I believe. It's actual science that's been documented with photos, with research, with history. And there's evidence that the Earth is round. So the fact that there's still a group of people, and the crazy thing is, it's not like 5 or 10 people. There's a lot of people that believe the Earth is flat.
I know like 2 people, and I just cringe because I'm like, I can't have you around people I respect because this is weird. Like if you like the Earth is not a piece of toast. It is a fucking blueberry, and it is beautiful.
It is round, voluptuous blueberry.
Yeah, like respect its curves.
Well, go to the top of a mountain and look at the horizon, and you can see the curvature of the Earth with your own eyes. Your eyes it's not an optical illusion. Your eyes aren't playing tricks on you. The Earth is round. It is a fact. So I'm sorry if you believe that it is flat. You are wrong. I'm telling you, you are wrong.
Sorry, guys.
You are outnumbered.
Chuck E. Cheese is a lie. The Earth is round. And
the pizza is round.
The Queen might be a cannibal.
The pizza's not quite round, but it resembles the roundness of the Earth.
Yeah, I don't. And then there was this whole thing, like, because I was looking at stuff, and there were some people who were saying that the moon wasn't real, and I was just like, are you guys seriously that bored?
Yeah, that we actually didn't have a person on the moon. And
No, they
fake?
literally thought the moon was not real.
Wait, it's...
On it, they said the moon was a projection.
Yeah,
Cameron says the moon is a projection.
Yep.
Give me a fucking break, people.
Yeah, guys.
Science.
No, there was an article recently, and it was someone, because it was the 50th anniversary of the moon landing, and it was someone who, like, he wasn't a scientist, wasn't this, but he studied it because he was a filmmaker, and he was like, this is me coming at it as a filmmaker and someone who, like, edits things, and someone who is actually looking at the the technical process you would have to do to fake it.
To make it a projection?
But way back then, they did not have that. They didn't have the technology.
No.
Like, there was no way.
And we have, okay, so when you hear all that stuff, all I think is, okay, so all the missions where there are people that have left Earth. They are in space. There's photographic evidence.
Yeah.
Like, so the launches that we watch on TV, that was fake. That was Photoshop. Yeah, that's not real. Like, the Challenger, when I was born, the Challenger took off and it exploded and a ton of people died. You're telling me that didn't happen? Like, give me a break.
It's insane.
I'm starting to get mad.
Well, no, I think also, like, there's a lot of media out there that tries to deviate our minds into controlling us. And I do think that that's, like, a big thing with conspiracies is, like, they'll plant these seeds and be like, believe in this, and then this isn't real, and you should go against this. And it's like all these things to be like anti-NASA, anti-government. But then, like, really there's like this higher power that may be controlling us, so we don't know. Maybe there's a fucking reptile race.
The reptilians. Let's talk about the reptilians. Yes. Because we are both very fascinated with the reptilians.
Because I love amphibians, and I feel like I am cold-blooded, but not a reptilian. But, like, I can't be, because I would have a lot of money and I don't. So, like, clearly I'm not a reptilian.
Okay, so we were talking about the reptilians and you're like, Justin Bieber's a reptilian.
Yeah.
And there was an article. What was the article about?
There was an article about him, and it was in 2016 or something, where he was at a concert. He was, like, literally on stage and he was performing. People said for, like, split seconds they saw him grow multiple feet taller. They saw, like, a black thing come down.
His eyes got black,
he got scaly. Yeah. And I was like, maybe he is going through a phase.
Maybe he has eczema.
Maybe everyone was on drugs at the concert. Yeah. But I also think
they're all like 13-year-old girls, though. So I feel like they're not on drugs.
There's got to be 2 adults there. But I don't.
2 chaperones.
When I think of the reptilians, I don't think of it as an actual reptile race. I think of it as, like, maybe some higher power that has a different DNA structure.
It's like an undercover thing.
Here's the thing: when I was looking up, and it's in my notes, there was a study done, and DNA can contain actual computer viruses. So in 2017, a multidisciplinary group of researchers at the University of Washington proved that they could embed malicious computer code into physical strands of DNA. Their aim was to show that computers working in gene sequences were vulnerable to attack, but they may also have inadvertently revealed that what we perceive to be biological reality was in fact computer coding all along. So it's like this whole thing where it's like, are we actually in the Matrix? Like, are we a fucking video game? And is there a bunch of people controlling us?
Well, I think that even with, like, aliens, like, are we just an experiment?
Yeah.
Are they sitting in their spaceships and they're watching us screw up and mess up, and it's like a test to see?
Like, every time we fuck up government-wise, do they, like, put a tsunami on us? Do they, like, try to test, like, how much we can take?
Write it down in their notebook. Like,
because they know our vulnerabilities. And, like, I don't fully believe in, like, a higher power, but I do believe that there's, like, some weird alien race fucking with us a little bit.
So I do believe in a higher power, and not to say that it's like a god or a being or a thing, but I believe that there's something above us, whether it's like an energy or a spirit or a physical being. Like, we don't know what it is, but I feel like it's very naive. And I think we talked about this in the alien episode. It's very naive for us to believe that we're the only beings in this universe. You know, it's
I don't have alien crop circles on the side of my butt for nothing.
Right? You're like, I
do feel like I believe in something.
And the whole thing with the reptilians is, like, it is this higher being, whether it's alien or it's otherworldly, and they, from even shows and movies like the show V, there's tons of movies that embody this. These creatures are like our government officials, they're our presidents, they're people of higher power that are basically wearing a mask.
Yeah.
So we see them as human beings, we believe them, we follow what they say, and we take their word for fact because we believe that they have our best interests at heart. But really, they're like blood-sucking demon reptilian creatures that want to overpower the human race. Whether that's real or not, I don't necessarily believe that that's necessarily real, because there's no evidence out there that makes me believe that. But it's also not, it's not impossible.
Whether or not they're a reptile, like, there is some bloodthirsty bullshit going on at higher powers. And I'm like, are they actually that evil, or is there something above them that actually possesses them?
Yeah.
Like
and the whole reptilians living in the sewer, and I'm like, so if the reptilians lived in the sewer, what did they do before there were sewers? Sewers are fairly, in the grand scheme of things, sewers are fairly new. Like,
well, because that's different from the Illuminati. Well, the reptilians, because there's like so many things. There's like the reptilians, and there's the aliens, and then there's like the Illuminati.
So we went down the rabbit hole of the Illuminati, because the Illuminati is essentially this group of powerful, secret society, higher
power beings.
Right.
And I actually went to Google it, and there's a website where I can potentially join.
You tried to join, but they said you had to get a background check, right? What did they say?
Yeah, you have to be submitted and approved. And I was like, yeah, with my Comcast email, of course I'm going to get approved.
We're like, just give them your junk email so that if it's a weird like scam.
And they have the cookies thing where they're like, do you accept the cookies? And I'm like, maybe, I love cookies.
Now they're infiltrating your phone, and they're listening to us right now. We'll probably have like death threats against us.
Like, because they also say too, like, the government's listening to you all the time. I'm like, well, of course they are. Now I'm in the Illuminati.
Which is true. So that is not, I feel like, not a conspiracy theory. How many times have we been talking about weird shit, and then you open up Facebook, and it's like, would you like to buy these unicorn slippers? Never looked up unicorn slipper. I've never said, I just said the word unicorn.
Okay, this is what's weird. So you came over last night, and I was talking about Chips Ahoy because I had Chips Ahoy out because
they were delicious cookies, and I ate like 5 of them.
I was online this morning making an Amazon cart to like buy a new toaster, but I never bought it because mine died a few days ago, and it kept suggesting Chips Ahoy. And I was like, bitch, how do you know what I'm putting in my mouth?
And because I said Chips Ahoy, now they're like, they're listening all the time, which is...
But I Instacarted Chips Ahoy on my phone, but not my computer. And so when I'm putting an Amazon cart on my computer,
it's a separate thing.
It shouldn't know that I delivered.
So when I have it happen, it's always my phone. So the fact that it was your computer is like even more proof that they're listening all the time.
I have a foot Band-Aid over my webcam, so I felt like that was enough. But I guess
what's a foot Band-Aid?
It's a Band-Aid for your bad foot
like a
blisters.
Corn Band-Aid?
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyways, yeah, they be listening.
Yeah, that freaks me out because I mean, I guess it's not a real problem if you have nothing to hide. Yeah. If you're not like a serial killer or like committing some sort of crime, like it's not a big deal if you're going to advise me to get Chips Ahoy because I talk about Chips Ahoy.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're listening to me, like what if I'm talking about something I don't want you to know?
Like honestly.
Or what if I'm doing something I don't want you to know about?
To go down the pizza conspiracy?
Yeah.
Domino's. So if anyone's ever ordered pizza on Domino's.com.
Guilty. When I can have cheese.
Not only do they never stop bugging you, but like you'll see
coupons, though.
They'll like deliver it, but they'll show you the little pizza maker, and I'll be like, "Ooh, now I'm like,
oh yeah, like pizza tracker."
Yeah, pizza tracker.
Yeah,
pizza tracker. No matter how many times you unsubscribe from the email, my entire Instagram is like candles and Domino's. Like I literally, if I scroll through right now,
you ordered Domino's once.
I have not ordered Domino's in like 3 years because of it, and every day I get, and it's like. They're thirsty, and I feel like
you to come back.
I feel like reptiles and pizza go hand in hand.
The reptilians are actually the owners of Domino's, and they're trying to infiltrate your life.
Yeah.
So that you're addicted to Domino's pizza, and then they can come and like body snatch you and take over your body.
Well, what's Chuck E. Cheese? Is he a rat? Does he live in a sewer?
Well, isn't he a mouse?
I don't know. Same thing.
No, I feel like
he's a ratchet.
He's a ratchet rat that is animatronic, but there's actually like it's a camera in there, and they're scanning your body.
Yeah, but if he lives in the sewers with the reptilians and the Illuminati, I don't know.
That's why the pizza's weird, because he has to take the leftovers down to the reptilians.
He's just doing what he can. It's a tough life.
This podcast, or this show episode, has taken a turn. It's very weird.
But the Illuminati, they're now like in the realm of saying celebrities are involved.
No, this is bullshit. So we were talking about the Illuminati, and so the Illuminati, when it began, was a secret society, not necessarily secret because people knew about it, but it was people of influence. And I guess that's a better word to say. It was people of influence.
One guy started it too. It was like, it literally reminded me of when I was researching Scientology for a cult thing. And it was like the Illuminati, designation in use from the 15th century, assumed by or applied to various groups of persons who claim to be unusually enlightened. It was on May 1st, 1776, that Adam Weishaupt, a professor of law at the University of Ingolstadt, founded the Order of the Illuminati, a secret organization formed to oppose religious influence on society and the abuse of power by the state by fostering a safe space for critique, debate, and free speech. So essentially, the Illuminati was something that we all aspire to have is like a place for free speech, a place to like not be controlled by religion, and a place to like reach our higher enlightenment.
And to do better for the world, to like talk about topics that would better humanity.
In 1776.
Right.
Clearly things have changed and people think they're like, when they get money, they're like, I'm in the Illuminati.
Yeah. So now this whole thing is going around about the supposed celebrities that are part of the Illuminati. Yeah. And so I went down the list and I'm like,
they're Kardashians Christmas cards. I forgot to mention that to you, but there's like these Christmas cards where they show like clear indications. Like there's this one, and there's like a lot of
the symbols.
Things.
So they're basically saying like a lot of these celebrities, whether they're musicians or actors, have symbols of the Illuminati in their videos, in their photos, whatever it may be. So I went down the list of like alleged celebrities in the Illuminati, and it's like Angelina Jolie, Paris Hilton. I roll, not in the Illuminati. Britney Spears, the Kardashians, like you mentioned, Kanye West, like the list goes on. But it's a Justin Bieber. It's essentially popular celebrities that are claiming to be in the Illuminati. And it's this group of people, to me in my mind, that are just saying like, hey, we're part of this group, and they flash the Illuminati symbol, the triangle. But like they don't have any, they're not doing what the Illuminati actually did. It's a higher power in the sense where they're referring to it as, because we have money, we're in the Illuminati. That's not what the whole group is about. So,
but there was one I'm trying to spell Illuminati. It's very difficult because I'm not in it. Sorry, guys.
Because you didn't get accepted. You tried to, they're like denied.
Christmas card where, like, as someone who photoshops and stuff, like, if you're going to have a nice family Christmas card, you'd be like, I want some nice Christmas card
like
shit.
A tree and a wreath.
This particular Christmas card was under debate because you can look at it, but it looks like totally normal.
That doesn't look like a normal Christmas card.
There's a lot of secret things in there.
They're in a casino.
They're in a casino, but the casino hides a lot of things. And they were just like, you wouldn't just randomly put that shit in unless the photographer was part of the Illuminati.
One of the kids looks dead.
Yeah, probably.
Hold on, I'm going to zoom in on this.
Your nails are too big to zoom. I know. Try.
So there's like blow-up dolls, it looks like in the background, and mannequins. And then the Kardashians, one of the children looks dead. One of the other one looks like really upset.
Yeah. Probably because they haven't made their billion yet.
But it doesn't, it just looks like a really bad, like you would find it at the 99-cent store.
But when you start looking into the blogs and being like, actually, like there's this like one hidden thing, and then there's 5 hidden things. And there's like, oh, actually the entire thing, like when you look,
looks like bullshit.
There's an entire... Like,
don't buy it.
Okay, wait, hold on.
I feel like you're trying to convince me this is a thing, and I don't believe you.
Do you see the background?
Yeah, but that's like, I feel like that's such a pretentious thing to do. It's like, we're going to put this symbol in the background and then claim we're in the Illuminati.
It might all just be controversy where no one's in the Illuminati, but everyone pretends like they are because they want clout, as Cardi B would say, who also is apparently in the Illuminati.
I call bullshit. I think all you people are just trying to pretend like it's a cult. You're trying to be like, we're in the Illuminati. Look at our triangle. Look at how cool we are.
I'm in the Illuminati where I'm just sad. And
we tried to apply to the Illuminati and they were like rejected. So we're going to start our own Illuminati.
Yeah, we go to Walmart in our team of misfits.
And we have really cool glasses.
I almost said scooters. We have scooters, but we rent them because...
we have goth scooters, and if you want to be in our club, you have to sign up. And if you have a Comcast email, you might get denied.
You might get denied because it's not legit anymore.
You need a Gmail.
Sorry, I still have it. That's my secret one.
If you have an AOL, then you're out. Like, not happening if you have
Yahoo,
AOL.
fuck yourself.
So, overall, I don't think that that's anything. I think that...
I don't think
And I said this earlier, and then I felt a little bad about it, but I don't. Now... I feel like the people that were a part of the Illuminati were intelligent human beings that had a bigger purpose for the world. It wasn't a purpose for themselves. Yeah. It was to actually engage people and to make the world a better place.
To speak their truths and intentions about the planet.
And find ways to make things better. Whereas I feel like now people are just using it as like a reason to show like money.
Yeah.
Like, look at how cool I am, which is not what it's about.
I think back then too, it's kind of like what we have now with like, you know, stupid speakeasies where it's like these places where you can go and like
secret clubs.
You can like talk about things and like not be in the public. And I think that the Illuminati probably started as something like a speakeasy where like you go and it's a safe space and you can be like, this is what I think about the fucking government and this is what I feel about
you can say what you feel.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, you know, there's no safe spaces anymore. Yeah. And so everyone feels like no matter what, you're going to be on a verbal platform. So
you're judged by whatever.
Make the Illuminati a fucking social sensation. And then everyone thinks they're in it. And then it's like, you know, the elite become icons for it.
Yeah.
And that's what spirals into like not this clandestine meeting anymore, but this like viral sensation.
Well, I think the thing that really bugs me about it is whenever there's something that actually had meaning and it was cool and it meant something in the world, and then there's people that come in that
it's like when you like a band and no one knows about it and then it's cool and you're like, fuck you.
And then people that don't
loved Creed. What the fuck?
And then people that don't really give a shit about it come in and ruin it and turn it into something that it's not. And that really bugs me. But I call bullshit about the Illuminati celebrities. So we'll move on to the next thing.
It's an Illumino.
It's a Illumino. We don't buy it. So another conspiracy theory. I watched a documentary on Netflix. We were actually finishing it up before this episode.
Where I just not paying attention.
You were not. I was like, can you pay
chips?
attention right now? And it's the Bob Lazar Documentary. And if you're not familiar with it, it's on Netflix. You can watch it. And Bob Lazar, basically, I guess the best way to explain it is the whole Area 51 phenomenon that people are fascinated with, and it's become a tourist attraction, is all because of Bob Lazar releasing his story about what he went through and the job that he did. And he didn't necessarily work at Area 51, but he worked at, I think it was called S4, which
I thought was a dance club.
Yeah. Ashley was like, oh, I thought Area 51. And I was like, no, that's Studio 54. It's a very different thing.
Different times.
Area 51 is a government facility. And until 2013, the CIA, basically the government denied that this place existed. So at that time and before 2013, there was no like Google satellite photos. Yeah. So all people knew was when you went to the gate of Area 51, it was a fence, and it basically was like a warning. Like you would basically be shot if you like trespassed.
It's dope.
So now that there was all these Google Maps and all this stuff coming out, there was evidence that this was more than what they were saying it was. So the CIA basically came out and said that Area 51, they acknowledged it as a place and said that it was a government testing facility. Technically, they were not lying because it is and was a government testing facility. But what they did not claim was that it was a government testing facility that tested alien spacecraft. So for the longest time, people were
just spacecraft or like aliens?
Aliens and spacecrafts, a lot of things to do with aliens. And for the longest time, people were reporting seeing like UFOs and spacecrafts flying in this area, and they would deny it.
This was in Arizona?
In Arizona. So Bob Lazar comes out and essentially...
Nevada. Same thing.
Arizona,
it's
Nevada.
All a desert.
It's hot. There's cactus. Nevada. Sorry.
Hot. Slot machines. Aliens.
Aliens in Nevada. So he comes out, and basically, when I was watching this documentary, the first thing I thought of was like, what was his motive? Why did he feel the need to tell people about his job? Did he feel his life was in danger? Did he feel like he had a piece of information he needed to get out? And really what it boils down to is he's a decent human being.
Yeah.
And he was part of something, and he had information that he felt would better the world. Mm-hmm. And he felt that it shouldn't be kept from the public. But the reason that I feel like a lot of conspiracy stuff happens is because people can't handle the truth. And I think that if you were to say aliens exist, spacecraft exists,
it's too much. We already have so much going on.
People would freak out.
I do feel like also like we live on this planet and we're already fucking it up, and like to handle more species and things, like we literally just need to like handle our shit.
But here's the thing. So at S4 where he worked, they basically discovered this compound, and it was called, what was it? I wrote it down because I didn't want to screw it up. Element 115. And basically what element 115 is, it basically creates its own gravitational energy. So something that creates its own gravitational energy is a power source. It doesn't have anything plugged into it. It is something that when you see this, and when he saw this, and immediately he thought of the capabilities. We could power vehicles. We could have a clean energy source. Like there's so much in the world that we could do with this, but yet they are keeping it a secret. And so he was basically researching alien spacecraft and reverse engineering this craft to basically figure out what this compound was and how it works. So in his mind, he's thinking, this is a great tool that we can use to better the world. But yet I can't tell anyone. It's a secret. I have to get in a bus that has like tinted windows to get to my work facility. Like everything about it is a government cover up. Mm-hmm. So he went to the news and basically was blacked out. You couldn't see who he was. And he told his story. And then later on, he comes out and says who he is. He gives more context. And the government raids his home. They raid his business. They basically are making his life a living hell because in one interview...
It's like Scientology.
One interview, he says that he had the compound 115 in his possession. So the entire time he said that, and I guarantee he probably wished he never said that because they made his life a living hell because they're trying to find this compound.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you think about it, the guy, you watch this documentary, he has nothing to gain.
And like I watched it, like I kind of watched it with one eye, and he's like this little old guy. Like he just doesn't look like a malicious. He
doesn't want money.
No,
he's not like
he's not a bad person.
He's not going on the UFO convention circuit to talk about his story. He's like living his life, doing his thing. He was part of something that he felt he had to share.
Yeah.
There is like, if you think about it, that's like what a decent human being would do.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that people are so like taken aback because there's not that many decent human beings anymore.
No.
So people are shocked by the fact that he doesn't want anything from it. He doesn't want to gain anything from it. He wants people to be informed. And it's really interesting. You should watch it. If you're listening to this podcast, or the show, you should definitely watch it. But you kind of feel bad for him in the end because there's like towards the end, he says like he kind of wishes he never said anything.
Yeah.
Because it's essentially like ruined a lot of his life.
It's
They're
all
trying to do the right
it's
thing.
always all the good people. Like that's when I and this is like a tangent, but like when I watched that music festival that went bad, and I forget what it was.
Oh,
the
whatever
tents.
Fry or
But it was like
Fire or
the
whatever.
Fire Festival
Yeah.
where like all the people who are genuinely trying to like be good people and help got like in debt and stuff.
Shafted,
and like it was
yeah.
it's always all the good people, and you're like, there's always this higher power like fucking over all of the nice genuine humans who are trying to save the planet, and it's like this constant cycle where we're like, I don't know, maybe an earthquake will break it.
Maybe the big one will
Yeah.
come and break the cycle.
That's what we called like earthquake big one.
Yeah, the earthquake
The
big one.
earthquake thick boy.
There'll be a
Coming in
documentary
2019.
on Netflix. Not in
Yes.
2019, too soon. Like in 2037, like far
No.
from now.
When we finally have enough money to like settle down and have a ranch, and then we're like, we
want a
don't give a
big
shit if the
ranch.
earth explodes. We're good.
Yeah. So after this whole documentary, so one of the things when he first starts working for this company, he goes in and they start showing him videos of aliens and them doing like medical investigations on
I didn't
aliens.
know they had alien videos.
Well, Area 51 is basically where they did research on alien spacecraft. So this is where this all happened. So when he first starts this job, he's like, what the hell? Why are you showing me this?
Yeah.
He thought he was going. So in his free time, he would make like rocket propelled bikes and cars. Like he was super into propulsion, jet propulsion. So that was the context of his job. So he goes into this facility and he's like, why are you showing me these things? I don't understand how this has anything to do with what I'm going to be working on. And then he finds out he's reverse engineering an alien spacecraft.
Whoa.
So my question for you is, I know we had an alien episode, but what is your level of belief in aliens?
I fully believe. I just like, for me, and this is the one thing with like, and I won't go into politics, but I was like, of all the fuck ups we've had in like 3 years, I'm like, could he just have leaked some fucking alien shit? Like, just give
It's
us the
there.
benefit of the doubt. There's something there.
There's something there.
There's a big thing there. And I feel like from the few friends I know who go constantly out to Sedona for like energy levels and like feel things,
Vortexes,
to be
and the
touched by
energy,
aliens. And like, it's just this whole thing where I feel sad because I've never seen anything in my whole life. And I hella believe.
Yeah. I definitely believe, again, back to the whole being naive if we think we're the only ones here.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not, in my mind, that's not a
I
possibility.
do feel like we're a pawn in the galaxy.
I do, for sure. We are the experiment.
Yeah.
And everyone is learning from our mistakes, which is fine. I'm okay to be an experiment, but I definitely want to know that it's real. I would love for like just anything.
Yeah.
Like to see a UFO. So we were actually in Sedona. And this was the same night we went to Cathedral Rock. We laid out a blanket. We looked up at the stars. And we were out there for quite some time. Like, it was dark. It was quiet. You could hear, like, the cicadas. You could hear all the bugs. And you could feel the energy. And it just felt peaceful. Mm-hmm. It was calm. It was 4 of us. We were quiet. Just hanging out and appreciating nature and the earth. So we're all laying on the blanket, looking up at the sky, and there was a moment where we're kind of searching for like shooting stars. Everyone has their eyes peeled in a different area of the sky.
Yeah.
And there was a moment that we all look up and we see a white flash. Like it was a second. If you blinked, you would have missed it. But 3 out of 4 of us saw it. Mm-hmm. And there's one explanation, which I'll tell you about, but I don't think that was the reason. But it was like such a crazy feeling. to see something that you can't explain.
It didn't look like lightning.
It wasn't lightning. There was not a cloud in the sky. There was no thunder. There was no way that it was anything storm related. And one of our friends that was there was like, well, it could have been like a shooting star that was falling down and then basically like lit up. But the thing, if that were the case, we would have seen something coming down. There was nothing. It was just an unexplainable flash of light. The whole sky lit up. And it was a second. Again, one of our friends blinked and she missed it. But the three of us saw it.
That would trip me out.
And it was kind of like for me.
You were in Sedona.
We were in Sedona in the middle of a beautiful like area. And this Cathedral Rock is said to have like a ton of energy vortexes. So you can feel the energy around Cathedral Rock, and it's beautiful, and it's pitch black, so we can't see anything. We can see like the outlines of the trees looking up at the stars, and it was incredible. And I've never seen so many stars in my entire life. Like you couldn't even focus on it. There were so many. They're like kind of flickering. It looks like everything's wiggling.
Which we don't see that much.
We don't see that here unless you're up in the mountains where there's no light pollution. But it was a flash. None of us can explain it. I don't know what that means. Was it a sign?
Were you guys on mushrooms?
No, there was no influence. No one was under the influence of anything. We had hiked the Cathedral Rock that day. We did some other stuff in Sedona, and we drove like an hour or half an hour back that night to stargaze. We were out there, and it was beautiful. And to me, I take it as like a spiritual sign. Like maybe it was nothing. Maybe there is an explanation. But to me, I was like, that is a reason for me to believe. That's what I want.
I feel like everyone had a thing, and I'm like, I haven't had a fucking moment
yet. You gotta go to Sedona.
I literally, like, I have alien crop circles tattooed on my body as a sign. Be like, you guys.
You're like, hey, aliens, yo, I believe in you.
I will shoot you in my studio. I will make you beautiful. Just like, talk to me.
Could we do a collaboration trade for a
photo
shoot?
Can we have a collab on IG? Give me your handle.
And then you can come on the couch and we can talk.
It'll be your debut.
We already established that if there's going to be an alien abduction, we just need to have a pre-meeting.
Yeah.
So if you want to come on the show, you're more than welcome.
Speak English. We don't mind some slippery bodily.
Yeah, we were actually talking about this earlier, and I said, if you're going to come on the show, I feel like aliens would be very greasy.
And I said, like, they are like silly putty with coconut oil.
Like they're slippery. Their skin is very fragile.
But we don't mind.
We don't mind. I'll lay some plastic wrap down for you so you don't mess up the couch, because this is important. We need it. We can't have like a grease alien marking in the middle. But we're very accommodating.
Yeah, we're
so
good.
Just be our friend.
Just be our friend. Be our friend.
What other conspiracy theories? Do you have anything else that you went down the rabbit hole on?
I mean, I was going down weird things, being like,
shit.
Elvis is not dead.
Oh.
And like all these things where it's like celebrity, like fucking Walt
Disney is
frozen.
cryogenically frozen.
Yeah.
So we were talking about this earlier, and I want to believe all the conspiracy
I want to
theories.
believe it too.
I want them to be real.
There was like this one.
Some of them I want them to be real.
So like, and even what the fuck was that guy? I forget his name. I had a lot of.
Wait, do you believe Elvis is still alive?
There was this photo of him, or supposedly him, like chilling in Graceland in one of his little studios.
But there's so many Elvis impersonators that look just like him.
The estate is closed. Like you can't just go into the estate.
Photoshopped? Was it photoshopped?
No. It was real. It was him just chilling out. And it was one of the people who worked there who saw it and was like, what the fuck? But there was also like this other photo of an older man who had like a similar voice, but he had gray hair, but it like looks like Elvis. Like literally they think that he's just like hiding, and now he's old as shit. And he like couldn't handle the fame.
How old would Elvis be? Cameron, do you know how old
apparently
Elvis would
died.
be now?
He apparently died in 1977 or something like that.
Yeah, but how old was he?
I don't know. We can.
I mean, I guess it doesn't matter, but
he was pretty fucking young because
he was young. So it's possible that he could still be alive.
Like when you Google
he would have gray hair.
When did Elvis die? It's like up for debate.
I believe Elvis is dead.
I don't think he is. August 16th, 1977. Didn't he die on the toilet? I feel like that's not conducive.
Did he die on the toilet?
Yeah.
I feel like that was a thing, but I don't know if that's real.
When did Elvis die?
Cameron's just laughing.
No, like I remember this was the whole thing. 1977. I was not alive because I'm young and sprung. But what happened when Elvis died?
How did Elvis die?
Years of prescription drug abuse severely compromised his health.
He was very overweight.
He died suddenly, but like there was all these things where like they wouldn't give the autopsy results. It was all these things where they would hide it.
Well, it's like privacy. They feel
No. I think he's still alive.
So you believe he's still? I mean, it's possible. Like there's lots of things that are weird that happen that are possible that most people don't think possible. Walt Disney being cryogenically frozen, I would love if that were a thing, and I don't know if that's actually...
It's probably crusty now.
He's frozen, though. It's like being thawed out. Like, if he's not properly cryogenically frozen, he would have freezer burn, which would be very unfortunate. So hopefully they did it properly. But I feel like, are we in the time and age where that is possible? And if it were possible, would we know about it? Like, would they tell you that's a possibility?
Maybe it's the reptilians, or maybe it's not actually the reptilians, but maybe there's like a higher power of human beings who are like taking these public figures who give such a prominent visual,
I would hope they would save the good people. I would hope that they would like not pick out like Beyonce and Jay-Z, and they would focus on someone like Walt Disney, like someone that contributes in a positive fashion. And that's just my opinion. But I would hope that the higher being is focusing on the people that are going to do good in the world and not the shitty people that...
And like literally I'm looking at Elvis conspiracy right now, and there is so many. There's like things with his gravestone, there's things with his family, they won't talk about it. There's like literally still things about his autopsy, people saying that like someone else was like performing the stuff and it would look like him and like he did the same gestures, but it like I just feel like sometimes fame can get to you, and then maybe there's a secret society that like pulls you into like a new... Like when you're like, I feel like Walt Disney would be so overwhelmed with life. Like,
oh my God, could you imagine?
Maybe he's not even frozen. Maybe he's chilling in the underground with the chicken fingers that go from every park because they all taste the same.
Oh, Disney food is good. So
it's good.
Chicken fingers.
Sponsor us.
Fried pickles. Have you had the fried pickles at Disneyland?
What?
Tasty.
I only go once a year because I'm not.
We'll have to go Halloween. We're gonna Halloween Disney. We're gonna Halloween all the things. So be prepared.
We're gonna.
Other conspiracy theories. I don't know that there's anything else that I have that's like...
I mean, there was like Illuminati.
You have a lot.
Reptilian. I had a lot because I'm really interested. Like, I kind of like...
This was her idea. This was like, you went down the rabbit hole.
Well, it was like after the Chuck E. Cheese thing. Like, I was like in a bathtub watching Chuck E. Cheese documentaries and shit.
You're watching the animatronics?
I was like, via YouTube. It's not a real documentary. But I was just like, you know what? Like, we have to like shove all our shit all aside because this is something with like... It combines everything. Like, aliens, like Illuminati... all of like the weird things of our planet that we're like living day to day, and we just kind of hear it, and we're like, the news is like, oh, like this is going crazy, and like it's a conspiracy, and you're like, whatever, and then it's like the government sucks, and you're like, yeah, whatever, but like I have to survive, and like I feel like we don't talk about it enough to be like, is there a bigger, higher power? Is there reptilians in the middle of the earth like controlling our shit? Is there aliens in another planet as a video game playing with us, and is our DNA code? Like, we don't know.
Yeah, and the one thing that I always think about is like, how much higher of a being do you have to be able to hide it for that long?
I don't know.
Like, think about the human race. Like, as much as you wanted to try to hide something, eventually someone would make a mistake. Like,
I think people are born with different power.
Yeah, but
I wonder if that's what astrology is. Like, because when I think about, not to go on a tangent, because I don't believe in this fully, but
we love tangents.
Well,
just go on
when
that
I
tangent.
think about, whenever I see a meme and it's like, this is what a Capricorn is, because I'm a Capricorn, and I'm like, this is so spot on. It's like someone who's like, be on time, like have goals, bullshit, blah, blah, blah. And it's like someone born in a specific time, destined to do certain things, and then you're like, Scorpios are batshit crazy and they can't commit to anything, and it's just like all these things where it's just like these traits, maybe because of how you're born and how the planet works, maybe you're destined for higher powers in life and you're determined more, and maybe there's an even bigger power that fewer of us are involved in that are a higher race,
whether you can tap into it or
like
not.
An Elon Musk, like in 10 years he might control all of us. I don't know. Like, fuck.
Well, I think about that too, because with like signs and what you're kind of predestined, and they say that if you're a Cancer or you're a Leo or you're whatever, you're going to be basically in this lane. And I find that a lot of times,
sometimes it's wrong.
Sometimes it's wrong, but I feel like even if it's slightly okay or slightly close, you will attach yourself to it and try to find things to link it. So in a sense, it can be real, but in another sense, you can be kind of like,
you're like, I'm a Cancer, so I do this.
Justifying certain things.
There were certain things where I was like, this is so accurate, it makes me feel like I'm going to vomit.
I would say more likely than not that I find things that are super accurate. And even with me, like being kind of like an empath, where I will absorb energies. And I find that like, it took me a long time to figure out that's what it was, but uncovering what that is makes me feel like there's something more.
Yeah.
If
like,
I
and I don't have that.
If I can walk into a room and feel something that no one else can feel.
You're at a different higher power.
It's and not necessarily like, wouldn't say a higher power. I would just say a different
power.
level.
Yeah. And like
just
for
at a different level.
I literally see the world different. Where like you can feel energies maybe through people who are dead and like through like spaces, but it's like I literally look at the world and I'm so disgusted that I actually see a different reality through my work. And so like that's another power that I have where like people are in the genre of work that I do, they don't get it. I'm like, I don't understand how you don't get it because this is what I see.
And I wouldn't say that puts anyone in like a hierarchy.
No,
it's not
but
like
it's
we're
just
at
like,
the top or you're at the bottom or the middle.
You're kind of born and you're like, this is like how I work.
It's just a different wavelength.
Yeah.
And I think once you understand that and you tap into it, I think you can you understand the world in a better sense. So this just got real deep.
I know.
We're talking about weird internet stuff and then it got real deep. But I think that's really cool when people are able to take a step back from like the everyday mundane life that we live in, the struggle and the hustle to pay your bills and like the everyday life stuff, to take a moment out of that and realize there is so much more to paying rent and making dinner and your everyday routine. Like there's this beautiful universe that we're a part of and there's so much more to it. So take a second. And in that Bob Lazar documentary, he says something and it's very simple. And he just said, keep your eyes open. Like be aware.
Yeah.
In the world,
put
in
your
life.
glasses on.
Put your glasses on.
Because I can have my eyes open, but they're not focusing on much.
If you can't see, go to the eye doctor.
Get your prescription.
So if you get nothing else from this entire episode, be aware, be open, like think. Don't listen to what everyone tells you. And I think that's super important in life. And with that very heavy statement, it is now time for my favorite part of the episode, creepy treats. But I'm going to need assistance from someone else to get me a little tiny bowl of guacamole from the fridge.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No.
I couldn't leave it out because I felt like we would get food poisoning all over again. So hold on. I promised Ashley this wouldn't be like intense. This is a very low key.
I treated you so well last night.
You did treat me very well. I'm going to treat you well too. This is not bad. Hold on.
So I feel like it has legs.
It at one time had legs.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Fuck my life.
It's not bad. Let me get my microphone back. Thank you, Abraham. So I know you are very excited for this part of the show. It is your favorite part, creepy treats time. And that face tells me all about how excited you are. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to reveal, which is very hard to hold all these things, but
What the fuck is
Hold
that?
on, let me put this down. It's essentially a bag of bags.
Cricket? No. I see the word cricket and I'm not amused.
Because crickets have protein.
Bugs.
And you don't have enough protein in your life. So first of all,
you told me that we weren't doing this anymore.
This is baked in a good. So this is Eat Bugs barbecue. Ooh, they're different flavors. I didn't know that. 5 grams of protein and they're chips. But I have to say Amazon.
Oh, wait, I love chips.
Amazon let me down. They sent me a bag of chips in a bubbled bag. So they're all crushed. So Amazon, I'm going to have some words with you later. But there's different flavors.
But still sponsor us.
So there's a sriracha. I know you like the spicy.
I love sriracha.
What's that one?
This is sriracha. What if they're all sriracha?
No, it's a variety. There's cheddar crickets.
I don't like cheddar.
You don't like cheese?
I like it on bread, but not
barbecue.
Oh, fuck me up, barbecue.
And I think that's it. So there's cheddar, sriracha, and barbecue. So you can try.
Let's do sriracha.
I'm going to try the barbecue because I can't have the cheese. I'm going to try the barbecue.
Well, fuck you. I'm going to do this without. It's
very, like, they're crushed. Why would you send.
Wait, so sriracha cricket chips.
So they're just basically chips made with cricket flour. So there's a lot of protein in them. It's ground up crickets in the chips. But they're like tortilla chips. So I've ordered stuff on Amazon and I order like a straw or I order something small and they send it in a giant box with like bubble wrap and crazy. And then I ordered chips, something that's mucho fragile, and you send it in a bubble mailer and it's crushed. That is not a good face. I brought guacamole. Oh, they're like
that sucks.
Really? So this is what they look like. And they look very healthy. So I don't, oh no, I just dropped it on the floor.
Good job.
They're actually not very broken, so that's nice.
Sriracha tastes like...
Try the barbecue.
Hemorrhoid cream. Let's try some barbecue.
Oh. Yeah. Oh.
Watch me whip, watch me nay.
This one's good. It's salty.
Are you proud of me?
Yeah, I'm proud of you. But which ones are you eating? Sriracha or barbecue?
Barbecue.
Where are yours?
Hiding.
Oh, that's not, where'd you? Oh, here. Okay. They taste a little earthy, like natural.
Tastes like terracotta. No, it just flew out of my mouth because it's so dry.
Tastes like terracotta, adobe. It doesn't really taste like a chip.
We did not try cheddar.
Oh, we didn't try cheddar. I can't have that, but you can tell
Plot
me how
twist,
it is.
cheddar will save the day.
I hope so. I might try it just because.
Oh, baby.
Does it smell like Doritos? Oh, wait, I didn't try it. Keep dipping it in the guacamole. Cheddar for the win?
Cheddar's Bay.
Cheddar's Bay. I like the sriracha, but it doesn't taste like sriracha. It just tastes very salty.
Look at me going in on these cricket chips.
Yeah, the one that was like, I'm not eating it. It's got bugs in it.
Well, the apocalypse came. And
Sriracha tastes a little bit like lime. I'm going to eat the cheddar one, even though I shouldn't, but I'm going to do it anyway.
It's literally just me chewing into my microphone right now.
It's
so good.
That's really good.
This is like what I envision.
So 5 grams of protein per bag, earth-saving, gluten-free, non-GMO corn. So it's good for you. It's a good source of protein. 1 cricket per chip. So you just ate a lot of crickets and you didn't even know it. I should have put like black tape over the cricket part and you would have been like, these chips are so good. Okay, so it says, chirps. When we eat bugs, we can save the planet. Our crickets are powerful protein sources that need very little water and land to grow. Look at how many gallons of water it takes to grow 1 pound of meat or even 1 pound of soy compared to 1 pound of crickets. So it only takes 1 gallon of water to grow.
The after texture is different.
It's a
little dusty.
It's very dusty. Would you say terracotta? It's a good.
Yeah.
I've never eaten terracotta,
It's like I went to Home Depot and I ate the sample tile instead of just taking it home with me.
You like shaved it off.
I did not use it as a coaster, which a lot of people do. I ate it. And here I am.
I say that
the taste isn't bad though.
It's not bad with a little bit of guac.
I do not feel like I have an eye twitch.
We've overcome our food poisoning. I ate guac like 3 days after I had violent food poisoning. So
I gave you guac last night, bitch.
You did give me guac last night, and it was real good. It was better than this guac.
No poops.
This is Walmart guac. Your guac was from where?
Legit. It was from Gelson's.
So I would say, what do you give the Bug Eats chips out of 10?
3 out
of 10. I was like, geez, harsh.
I'd give it a 7.
7? I give it like 6.5, 7. They're
Compared to actual crickets, crickets are at a 1.
Crickets are at a 1. So 7's a big improvement. And we have a lot.
Sorry, guys.
I thought I was ordering one bag of each, but there's a lot
Amazon
of chips. So you can take some of these with you as a doggy bag.
Feed them to my enemies.
They're delicious. So that will do it for this episode of Let's Get Spooky. I'm Leanna Van.
And I'm Ashley.
And you can listen to us on iTunes and Spotify. You can also watch the video of this episode at letsgetspooky.com. Thanks for listening, Fiends, and we'll see you next time. And don't forget to stay spooky.